So if you're a builder, a founder, any type of creator, really you have an existing workflow, you're doing some sort of operations, this is for you. It's just going to teach you how to actually use the AI to do the bulk of your work, right? Without you having to sit there through setting it up, dealing with various issues that come along the way. To use your existing tutorial, you should have a cleaner way to think about how to actually work with AI, how to give it context, make it reason through the options, force the plan, execute in small steps, verify its work, take its work, and have it build a reusable system. As you go, you're giving it context. So that's the first version of this guide. So the main idea is simple, right? AI gets dramatically better when you stop treating it like a one-off chat tool and start treating it like a workflow system, like a colleague that is mastered in various topics. You're giving them work instead of having a conversation. You come ready to go, right? We built the prompt, right? We use various tools to align our workflow together, giving it context, making it brainstorm, make it plan, let it execute in small steps, review the steps, have it review its own work, then build it into its own reusable system, right? All right, so here's the thing. Most people are using AI wrong, like fundamentally wrong. They open up the chat, whether it be ChatGPT, Claude, any of, and they'll ask it something and they just take whatever it gives them as it spits out AI slop, right? And it sounds generic. Why does it sound the way they want it to sound? Well, it's not the AI's fault. It's never been the AI's fault. The AI is doing something exactly how you told it to do, which is basically nothing. It's searching for the wrong context. You didn't tell it who you are. You didn't tell it how you write. You didn't tell it what you're building, what the vision is, the direction is, etc. So it just defaults to its largest context window, which gives it really bad outcomes. So what I'm going to walk you through right now is the system I actually used to make Claude, or really any AI that I use now, like me, to reuse this stuff, to refuse this stuff, I would refuse all in one workflow. Whether you have an existing workflow or not, you can implement this either way. Why generic AI fails you? So this is where it starts. For navigating the landscape, right? These all add into your cost. If you've read anything online in the last year, you've seen this type of stuff 1,000 times, right? It's vague, it's forgettable, and the second their audience reads it under the name, they know it's not you. They immediately tune out, right? Now look at the right side, right? Short, clear, useful. Say it like using tight sentences. This is what allows it to give it better context and so forth. Now, here's the thing. And this is what most people don't get. The difference isn't the model. The model is the same. Claude is actually on both sides of this, right? Of work. One time, if you do it correctly, 2 hours of work. And I mean, look at the curve at the top, right? Right here. So before this system, your time is going into writing, right? Like you're sitting there typing, editing, rewriting, almost no time on actual thinking, right? After the system, that flips completely. You spend your time thinking, having ideas, making decisions, and Claude handles the writing part. So after you implement the system, you're able to unlock actual workhorse behind the projects you were trying to get started in the first place. So, okay, how do you actually do it? Open up Claude, use the co-work mode, and I'm going to leave it down in the bio. You paste in the, I call it the interviewer, right? I have it sent it to your Claude, okay? Put in the Claude co-work so it understands what you're trying to accomplish here, right? It's going to ask you 100 questions, okay, about yourself. You answer all 100 questions. You can use your mic or you can type it out. I prefer typing. When you say, yeah, I don't do that, Claude writes that down. Like if you tell it, yeah, I actually don't do that, Claude will actually write that down as a refusal. When you use some weird phrase that's just a you thing, Claude also captures that. So after all 100 questions, you paste in a second prompt, which is the compiler. It's also will be in the description. It takes those 20,000 words of you talking and squeezes it down to about 4,000 token file. And that file is completely you. That's going to be your artifact. And once Coworker is done with that file, tell it to save it as a markdown file. And that's what you're going to treat as your identity and take it across projects with you embedded in Claude. Claude will not have it in its own memory, but in case you ever switch, that'll be your go-to markdown file for the way you want to work with any chosen LLM. Okay, so now once we have that markdown file of our personality and our about me, how we think, how you want Claude content, and what you work with. Except with these three files, no exaggeration, they replace every one of your prompt templates, right? It's going to act as a wrapper. Every system set up. Okay, so it's simple. File one is the about me we just created. That's just you, who you are, how you work, what you think good work look like, what you hate, your rules, 10 lines of what to do and what to never do. That's it. File two is an anti AI writing style.md. And this is the file that actually nobody ever talks about. Most people skip this file, and that's why their AI still sounds like AI. This file is not what your voice sounds like. It's what your voice does not sound like. These are the banned words, the sentence patterns that you don't use, the formatting rules, the phrases that make you cringe when you see them, right? Here's the thing. Without this file, Claude writes like Claude. With this file, Claude writes like you. Assistant. All right. Your voice every tool. Last piece. And this is the strategic part. Okay. This is the part that will take what we just built and it future proofs you. The AI space is moving fast. Every week there's a new update, right? There's a new model, new tool, new interface. You're trying to keep up. Everyone's switching to whatever's hot. I need you to slow down, right? A lot of it's cheap dopamine. A lot of the content creators are just pushing what's hot, right? But this is what's going to keep you ahead of the curve by having this setup, right? Your three files, they'll live. I'm still using Claude. I think it's still great. ChatGPT is amazing as well. Different use cases for sure. But yeah, you have one source of truth. You update one file, you push it everywhere. You switch to tools without losing yourself. When the next model drops, and trust me, it will, probably next month, you're not starting from scratch. You're just pasting it over. It takes 5 minutes and you're set up. Okay. Generic AI will still fail the user of how to duplicate yourself. The more context you give it, the better. Honestly, obviously, you want to keep personal stuff out. Work related, I think it's fine. I've told it many things, and it'll find angles that you may not have thought of before and come out and give you better ideas or plans for what you're currently working on and so forth, right? 2 hours of work, one time, live locally on your machine that you can take with you, implement today, and start getting the actual work done, right? Everything I mentioned, the prompts, templates, it's all in the description. Grab what you need, and I appreciate your support.